Hi everybody and welcome back to my booktube channel, Books with Leo, and today I am here with another recent favourites video. In these videos I just basically discuss all the books that I've recently read. It's sort of like a wrap up, but it's not really a wrap up because I only talk about the books I kind of really want to talk about. I like filming these a little bit better than I like filming regular wrap-ups, because with regular wrap-ups I always feel like I have to discuss all of the books even if I don't have anything sensible to say about them, but I still have to sort of discuss them and I just don't like that, so I really enjoy doing these videos instead. So definitely let me know if you enjoy watching these as well. Basically I'm going to be discussing everything that I've read in January, but just not everything, just like the highlights and the things I really enjoyed. I think you all get it now and you've probably seen one of these videos before. So what am I even talking about? Let's just get into the books. The first series I really want to talk about, and I read the entire series during January, is the Nevermoor series by Jessica Townsend. I reread book 1 and 2 and then I also picked up book 3, which is called Hollowpox, and I just read the entire series in January. I think this is one of my favourite book series that has ever been written. It is just so amazing. It's so delightful, it's so cute, it's so wonderful, and it just makes me so happy. Honestly, I kind of want to reread them already. It filled me with so much joy and happiness and peace and just adventure. I really enjoy these books. I think if you've been around on this channel, you've heard me talk about these before, but this is about Morrigan who's been cursed, and basically everything bad that happens in her country is because of her, because she's a cursed child and she's destined to die on her 11th birthday. Instead of dying on her 11th birthday, she gets sort of kidnapped by this man called Jupiter North. He takes her away to the magical land of Nevermoor, and there she has to compete to get into some sort of magic school. It is so great, and in the second and third book we follow her on her adventures, and she lives in this magical hotel in Nevermoor, and oh my god, the hotel, like I just imagine it looks like a Wes Anderson movie, like The Grand Budapest for example, but it's just so magical and amazing. And this series, I want to talk about it non-stop basically, and it's just so cute. What is also really cool is that I've heard that there are going to be like 9 books in total, or at least a lot, so that is really great, and I want to read all of them. I want to read all of them right now, but I can't. Sad. But yeah, this is a series I highly recommend, and I really enjoyed reading in January. Another one I read in January was Feminism Interrupted, Disrupting Power by Lola Olufemi. I've talked about this book on my channel earlier as well. I think I discussed it in a reading vlog. This was a really insightful essay on feminism, and what I really enjoyed specifically, that this essay also really dives into more non-Western views on feminism, and it really critiques neoliberal feminism, which is a lot of the feminism you see on social media. Of course, not all of the feminism you see in social media is that, but a lot of it is. And this really went into being more inclusive with your feminism, and also listening to Muslim voices and to people of colour, and it was really insightful and impactful. And I think Lola Olufemi is so good at explaining things, and also her chapters on transmisogyny were really impactful and learned me a lot of things. So this is definitely a book I would recommend if you're interested in feminism and you want to dive deeper into some subjects surrounding the topic. Then I also read Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert in January, and this was definitely a highlight because this book also made me very happy. The books that I like best are basically just books that make me feel good. So Take a Hint, Dani Brown is the second book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. Not sure if you can call it that, but it's basically these books about these sisters, and each book follows a different sister, and I think the third one, which is about Eve Brown, is coming out soon. I think in March maybe, not sure. But I've read the first one, Get a Life Chloe Brown, last year, and it was one of my favourite books of the year. And I've read this one, Take a Hint, Dani Brown, in January, and it was so enjoyable. I did feel like there was a lot more smut in this book than in the first one, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. There were a lot of sex scenes that were just happening left and right, but it was really enjoyable. It was so well written, and just all Talia Hibbert's books are so full of humour and witty jokes and banter, and it's just so lovely to read. And all of her characters are really three-dimensional. They're not just like flat characters. They all really go through something and develop themselves in terms of their love life and their personal life, which is something I really enjoy reading about in romance. And she always knows how to weave some more deeper and important subjects into her books as well, which is really great. What I also really liked is that Dani is queer, or at least she has had relationships with women, and now she's with a man, so I thought that was also a really nice addition to the book. It's about Dani Brown, who's a professor at university, and there's a bodyguard there that she gets along with really well, and then there's like, I think a fire exercise? How do you call that? Like they practice how to get out of the building in case of a fire. She gets stuck in the elevator, he rescues her, it gets filmed, it goes viral, and then to help his charity get more attention, they do this press stunt where they pretend to be dating, so there's also a fake dating trope in the mix, and of course they develop feelings for each other, and yeah. So lovely. I really enjoyed reading this, and I can't wait to check out the last book in this series, and everything else Talia Hibbert has written too. Something I also really enjoyed in January was a graphic novel I picked up, and I really picked this one up on a whim. I had no idea if it was any good, but I saw it on Scribd and I was like, I want to read a graphic novel, let's check it out. And that was Eat and Love Yourself by Sweeney. Especially the style of this graphic novel was so cool. I really enjoyed the art style. There's like this sort of purpley, dark muted tone palette going on that then mixes with more pastels and brighter colors, and it's really beautiful. And the main character also has this really cool style. She's got like blue hair and she's like a little bit edgy. I really loved seeing her unique clothing style in her character. It's basically about this girl who's struggled with eating her entire life, so definitely a trigger warning for eating disorders, because this book mainly discusses eating disorders. And basically our main character is still struggling with her weight and her self-worth, and she's trying to figure out how to do better in life and how to feel better. Especially she buys a random chocolate bar at this store that she goes to, and it's like a local made chocolate bar, so she's never had it before and she's like, oh, I want to try it out. But then when she eats the chocolate bar, she travels back in time to a different memory related to food each time, which was really interesting. So we sort of follow our main character on this journey through her past, where she looks back on memories in relation to her and food and her family, and how she uses food as a coping mechanism. And then through these memories, they like sort of intertwine with the rest of the story. She sort of learns more about herself and her struggles with food and loving herself, and it was really powerful. It wasn't very long and it had quite an open end, but it still was really impactful, and a book I really enjoyed. And the art style was just... We've come to the last book I want to discuss in this video, and that is The Match Ship, which is the Live Ship Traders book 2 in the trilogy by Robin Hobb. Honestly, I've been gushing about this book ever since I finished it. Like, my family has had to endure me going through the entire synopsis like 3 separate times and explaining everything to them, and like it doesn't mean anything to them, but I'm just so excited. I'm going to talk about it to everybody. Especially our main character Althea. She's one of the main characters because we follow multiple perspectives, but she's just so cool. Like, she's the coolest sailor pirate babe I've ever read about. Well, she's not a pirate, but so cool. I wish I was that cool. So basically the Live Ship Traders trilogy is a trilogy that is also set in the same world as the Rainland Dragon trilogy by Robin Hobb, I believe. So there's several things in this trilogy that are really cool. We follow all these families that are all very like important big families, and they all have living ships and they trade, and there's this world with different kingdoms and like different regions, and it's all pretty complicated, so I won't be able to explain it, but there's such a rich history, and everything is so well thought out, and the lore is it's so complicated but so good. Like, as soon as you get into this trilogy, you will not want to stop reading. This book was almost 900 pages or more even. I took a few breaks in between to read different things. Still, when the time was there to finish it, I could not stop reading. So what basically happens in the first book, Althea's family, the Vestrit family, is a very well-known family, and their ship is about to come to life. So they have ships, and when 3 generations of the family die on the ship comes to life, and then you can sail different parts of the world with a ship that you normally couldn't reach with a regular ship. And so Althea is called to the decks of the ship because her father is dying, and it's basically thought that she will take on the ship and she will be its captain. But because she's a girl and there's this new stepfather in the family, we don't like him, Kyle Haven, he gets the ship and she does not, and then she basically goes on this journey to prove herself as a sailor. And we also follow a pirate king, another perspective, that is trying to gain access to a live ship because he wants one for his plans to sort of rule the pirate world. And yeah, we follow all these different perspectives. It's really cool, it's really intricate, it is quite complicated. I think if you've never read fantasy, don't start with these. Start with like a nice light fantasy, something that's not as difficult as this one, because like I especially really like reading these books better in Dutch, in my mother tongue, because it's just, in English, it's not like I don't get them, but I just get into them less easier, if that makes any sense. So those were all of my recent favourites that I really wanted to discuss in this video. Definitely let me know down below Are any of these books your favourites, or have you read anything noteworthy in January? I'm always curious to hear. I'm hoping my February will also be filled with lots of amazing reads. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!